Have you ever been manipulated by two people at the same time? My buddy Alex was the kind of guy who once bought a fully grown lion just to show it off at his party. And when the lion inevitably snapped and almost ate one of the attendees, he blamed it on his girlfriend Rosalie. She somehow got away with it. But ever since that day, Rosalie has had it out for Alex. She was the closest with me out of all his friends, so she hit me up one random day to meet at a coffee shop. When I walked in, she had already ordered the most expensive item on the menu for me and invited me to come sit. I started chowing down, and that's when she told me very bluntly that Alex needed to die. Turns out he didn't blame her for the lion attack for no reason. He had been systematically grooming her 11-year-old sister and needed her in jail so he could continue what he was doing. She didn't tell me how she found out no matter how much I asked, which definitely sussed me out. But I agreed because no sane person would make up a lie that big about someone. The next night, we broke into Alex's place. No matter how much I begged her not to, she planted the bag of snow in his drawer. Then she called the cops. Of course, they arrested Alex on the spot. That should have been that. I almost felt guilty for ruining the life of someone I considered a friend until Rosalie's 11-year-old sister turned on her. They had been extremely close, and the minute Alex was arrested, Jade was texting Rosalie the nastiest things she could think of. She called Alex the only person who actually understood her and cursed her sister out for putting him in prison. I was relieved because I thought we had genuinely caught a predator. Until 3 days later when Alex somehow made bail. He came directly to my house. Apparently his house had cameras the cops knew nothing about, and he saw me with Rosalie. He walked in without asking, and I saw what looked like a knife tucked under his waistband. When he sat down, he asked me point blank what I thought he was doing with Jade, the 11-year-old girl. I went white. My mind started racing. No pedo would outright ask what he was doing with his victim. I told him up front what I had heard, and even added the fact that Jade had texted her sister immediately after he got arrested. I told him it seemed suspicious. That's when he raised his eyebrows. Know why she cares about me that much, dude? He asked me in a tone that felt genuine. I asked him if it's because he was a pedo. He chuckled like it was funny. It's because I'm the only person in that girl's life who cares how she's doing. He pulled up screenshots of his now ex-girlfriend texting her little sister. You're nothing. You're worthless. My stomach sank. Alex wasn't a predator at all. He was actually trying to make this girl feel like a person. That's why I was still with her, because I knew that the only way I could save Jade was through her. That was all the proof I needed. The next day, I went to Rosalie's house with Alex. I felt like a marionette caught in some sort of drama, but it was the most interesting my life had been in a long time. Rosalie's face turned a deep shade of red when she saw me and Alex, almost like she had been caught. That's when Jade appeared in the hallway. This was the first time I paid real attention to how skinny she always was. She ran to Alex and jumped in his arms, but then she kissed his cheek and he kissed hers back. I side-eyed him, something he caught because he went red and told me he is just affectionate. We went inside, something Rosalie seemed oddly cool with, and started talking. Rosalie put Jade in her room. You know why we're here, Alex started. Rosalie had this guilty look on her face. She tried to act confused, but Alex interrupted her, asking why she did this with me, why she used such a horrible accusation to guilt me into getting rid of the one person protecting her 11-year-old sister. Rosalie started crumbling. Her face went white, and she started stammering excuses. I thought we had finally gotten to the bottom of it until we heard genuine sobbing coming from the bathroom. It was Jade. Rosalie and Alex both started screaming at each other over who should be the one to go check on her. So much so that I was actually the one to go because they were too distracted. That's when I saw it. Jade holding a pregnancy test with 2 pink lines. My eyes went wide and I just stood there in shock. Alex says if this happens to tell him immediately. My hands started shaking. I came back out and screamed about what I just witnessed, and the both of them just froze. What's strange is that Alex was all of a sudden telling me this test was probably fake, while Rosalie was going on about how much of a drama Queen Jade has always been. 30 seconds ago, they had been fist fighting over who was the one to go check on her. That's when Jade herself came out. She broke down on the floor apologizing to both of them. I honestly had no idea what to do, and so I did the only thing I could think of. I called the authorities. It might not have been the smartest move, but I was done trying to figure out who the real bad guy was. Once they arrived, I explained the entire situation while both Alex and Rosalie were trying to convince the officer I was lying. They both got arrested, put in cuffs, and taken in for questioning, while Jade was taken to the station where she could finally explain the entire truth of what had been going on. Full story on channel linked below.